If you've ever felt like your turnout is not good enough for ballet, or that you need the perfect 180-degree turnout to do ballet, then this video is for you. Because today we'll discuss what turnout actually is, how much of it do you really need, how to improve it safely and without forcing anything. And I can promise you that by the end of this video, you'll think about turnout entirely differently. So make sure to stick around until the very end. Let's start by discussing one of the most common misconceptions, that you need that perfect 180-degree turnout to do ballet. Now, that is simply not true. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that turnout in ballet is not important. Obviously it is, because everything that we do in ballet is in turnout. But you need to understand that even most professional dancers don't necessarily have a perfect 180-degree turnout. What actually matters is how you strengthen and use the turnout that you already have. And when using the turnout, I don't mean just being able to stand in a static position, but how to have a strong and functional turnout while you move. Now, the majority of turnout does not come from your feet. The majority of turnout comes from your hips. Your knees and your feet do participate in turnout, don't get me wrong, but it's a very, very minor percentage. Most of it stems from your hips. So now, if you think that you need that perfect 180-degree angle and you push your feet into that position, your hips won't necessarily be able to handle it. So then the pressure is immediately going to go into your knees and into your ankles. If that happens, then your ankles and your knees are going to start rolling inwards, which is exactly how injuries happen. And it's also exactly why a lot of dancers kind of feel stuck in that position, because they're literally fighting against their anatomy. Now, here's another common misconception, that turnout is all about flexibility. It is not. Turnout is about flexibility, strength, and control, all combined into one. It's a balance between your deep rotators, your glutes, your inner thighs, and your core, all working together as one to keep that turnout active, balanced, and supported. So I want you to think about it like this. Flexibility helps you open the door, but the strength keeps the door open. You can have all the range in the world, but if your muscles aren't strong enough to support it, then you're going to lose it the second you start moving. Now, for all of the above to happen correctly, you first need to find your natural turnout. And the way to do that is very simple. I want you to stand with your feet together in a parallel position. Put your feet onto your heels and try to rotate them out into first position in one movement. In one movement, not one, but together at the same time. Whatever position you end up in is your natural turnout. And everything beyond that is developed gradually by stretching and strengthening, but definitely not by forcing your feet to open wider. Now, I've had a lot of people that have found their natural turnout and they're not happy with the initial result. But once again, I would like to remind all of you that whatever clips and images you see on social media of dancers being really turned out, you've got to remember that this is the result of either their anatomy, so they didn't necessarily even have to work that hard for it because they had a lot of range in their hips and in their feet, or it is the result of years and years of hard work, strengthening, stretching, and repetition. So if you found your natural turnout and you're not happy with what you're seeing at the moment, then please do not get discouraged. This is a really long and lengthy process. We, as human beings, are not meant to be technically standing in those turned out positions, yeah? We do everything in parallel. So it's a completely new language, it's completely new movement. So it's only natural that it's going to take you a really long time to develop that range and to be able to sustain it. So please do not get discouraged. So how can you actually increase the range of your turnout? It is all about consistently strengthening and stretching the main muscle groups that participate in turnout. So what you want to make sure is that your deep rotators, which sit right underneath the glutes, your glutes themselves, and your inner thighs, and your core, which is also very important in ballet in general, that they're strong and they're all working together in unison. So when you're a complete beginner, the best way to start strengthening your glutes and your deep rotators is by doing, let's say, different variations of clamshells with just your body weight. Once you feel like you've got stronger, you do need to start adding a little bit of resistance. So the first step of that would be, for example, using one of those loopy TheraBands. If you get stronger with that as well, then I would recommend you, if you're comfortable, of course, to go into a gym environment and perhaps start doing different glute variations with some actual weights, because we do want to make sure that as we get stronger, we keep adding a little bit more resistance, because otherwise you will just plateau and you will stay on the same level. You want to do the same things when it comes to your inner thighs and when it comes to your core. So if you're a beginner, my favorite exercises for your inner thighs would be, for example, a Copenhagen plank. You can start the Copenhagen plank with the easier version, so both of your knees are bent, and then when you get strong and you can hold that for about 45 seconds on each side, you can make that exercise more difficult by straightening your legs. So you're doing a short lever version and you're doing a long lever version. If you're someone that doesn't have a lot of time to spend on strengthening and stretching, then you can also sometimes combine two exercises into one. So for example, you can strengthen your glutes and your deep rotators and your inner thighs at the same time by doing a glute bridge and having a Pilates ball in between your knees. So when you lift your hips up, your glutes get activated, and then at the same time you're squeezing the ball together with your knees, so your inner thighs also get activated. When it comes to core exercises, then because we need to take into consideration the nature of ballet, we need to bend, we need to rotate our upper body. So I very highly encourage everyone not to just stick to, let's say, doing ab crunches, which are fine, but you want to do functional core exercises where your arms and legs are moving at the same time, or you need to rotate against resistance, because we want to be strong in those positions and ensure that our core stays stable. So my favorite exercises to strengthen your core as a ballet dancer are things like dead bug, Palloff press, plank shoulder taps, plank leg lifts, and stir the pot. I would also highly recommend you to do some of these activation exercises before your ballet class, because as I said before, a good warm-up consists of elevating your heart rate, activating the muscle groups that are being used in a ballet class, and some dynamic stretches. So if you know that you're going to need to be working in turnout, then you do want to do some of those glute, deep rotator, inner thigh activation exercises before your ballet class. Now, the other important component of turnout is some flexibility. So I would encourage people to do their basic stretches, static stretches, such as, all your different variations of frog positions, your splits, all of that. That is absolutely fine. But never forget that static stretches alone for ballet are not enough. You need to combine static stretching with dynamic stretching at the same time, so you're kind of moving in and out of that stretch. So dynamic stretching is the type of stretching that you should do before your ballet class, and static stretching is the type of stretching that you can do after your ballet class when your body is nice and warm, because static stretches are more strenuous on the body. And when it comes to your dynamic stretches as well, and improving the range of your flexibility, you do want to make sure that all of the muscle groups that we've mentioned now, plus your hamstrings, your quads, and even your calves, that they don't get too tight, and they do tend to do that after a ballet class. So also when it comes to your dynamic stretches, include dynamic stretches for your hamstrings, for your glutes, for your quads, for your calves, everything to make sure that specific areas on your body don't get tight, because sometimes people actually have a good range of motion, for example in their hips, but there is just some kind of tightness in the body which is limiting that range. So now onto the controversial topic. How much turnout do you actually need for ballet? So this is obviously very different for a professional dancer and for a non-professional dancer. So I cannot tell you that for a professional dancer, just having a 90-degree angle is enough. It's probably not enough. If I personally, as a teacher, would get a non-professional dancer coming to my ballet class, whether that person be a child or an adult, I'm not going to hyperfixate on their turnout. Obviously, we still strengthen, we still stretch, we still work on it every single class safely with everything that I've mentioned above, but it's not like somebody has a 90-degree angle or maybe even less, and I would tell them that they cannot come to my class. For me, that concept is simply ridiculous. So for a professional dancer, yes, it is more important. And if you don't have it, again, that doesn't mean that you're never going to get it. So if as a child, somebody tests your range and it's not quite there, it doesn't mean that it's not going to get there, because I've seen many people who have managed to significantly increase their capabilities by strengthening and by stretching. For a non-professional, I'm not going to hyperfixate on that, and neither should the non-professional. You have come to a ballet class, yes, to get stronger, to dance, but there is no point in me or the dancer themselves thinking that they necessarily need to have the same range as a professional dancer. You can always try your best to strive towards that. But if as a non-professional you've gone to a class and someone has told you that goodbye, you cannot be in this ballet class because you don't have enough turnout, then you were not in the right class. Yeah, that teacher is focusing on the wrong things. Now, sadly, also a lot of non-professionals seem to think that they cannot dance beautifully if they don't have an X amount of range when it comes to their turnout. Once again, that is simply not true, because yes, turnout is a big component of ballet, but there are so many other things that make a beautiful dancer. Your control, the way you express yourself, artistry, your port de bras, your head movements, there's countless of components. So once again, I would like to encourage you, if you are an adult non-professional dancer or a child who is a non-professional dancer, that don't think about solely turnout as the one main and the most important component of you participating in a ballet class. Any non-professional with whatever range they currently have in terms of their turnout should be encouraged to continue their ballet journey. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. You don't need a perfect 180-degree turnout to dance. That goes for non-professionals and for professionals. You need your turnout strong, aligned, and usable. And don't get discouraged if your range currently is not where you want it to be. You can always improve it by using the techniques that we discussed in this video, both in terms of strengthening and in terms of stretching. And never forget that yes, turnout is important in ballet, but there are so many more components that make a beautiful dancer. The more you learn how to work with your body and with what you have, instead of working against it, the better and safer your dancing will become. If you want to actively work on your turnout in a super supportive environment, then I encourage you to join my Saturday Zoom group classes. They're open for all levels, and we do talk about how to safely use your turnout a lot in those classes. If you are a complete beginner and you've never done ballet before in your life and you want to start, and perhaps you want to start from the comfort of your own home, because it's kind of nice, then check out my Ultimate Beginners Ballet Course, where we build your strength step by step from the ground up, so you can eventually confidently go and join a group ballet class. For both the Saturday Zoom class and the beginners course, I'm going to leave the links in the description below. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it useful and that you learned something new, and that you will stop perhaps obsessing about turnout too much, or thinking that if you don't have an X amount of range then you can't do ballet. I am here to tell you as an ex-professional dancer that that is not true. So believe me, continue dancing no matter what. If you like this video, then don't forget to support the channel by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel as well, and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.